Wild Cards is a new show on the CW that just wrapped up its first season last week, and I did watch it, so let's review. Wild Cards centers around Max, who is a con artist who gets arrested by Cole, who is a demoted water cop. And while she's being held up at the station, she helps him solve another case that makes some very powerful political people happy and look good. And so by the request of the police commissioner, she tells them, hey, you two work together and solve cases. Max, you will get to stay out of jail. And Ellis, you can have your spot back as a detective. So the show is essentially a police procedural where we see Max and Cole team up, solve cases, and there might be something larger at play here with Max being a card artist and working with the police. Now, as far as the CW goes as a network, I mean, the show has its hit or misses. I have not watched anything from the Arrowverse. Just for some reason, it was just one of those things that I just never got into, nor did I have the time or motivation to sit down and watch. But what drew me to this show is Vanessa Morgan, who plays Max, who I've been a fan of and always had a crush on ever since I saw her on the show My Babysitter's a Vampire from back in the day. And I've seen her in other stuff here and there, but I never watched Riverdale, which is another CW show, and she was also on. And so when I saw the trailer for this and saw that she was in it, I was like, this looks interesting. Let me see what she's up to in this. And how did I feel? I actually quite enjoyed this show. I thought it was a nice little police procedural to tune into every week. And I also like seeing the dynamic between Max and Cole, because Cole, he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He has a tragic past. And then Max, she's a con artist and very good at her job too. And just seeing the two of them work together and learning to work with each other and utilizing each other's strengths. And throughout the season, the two of them become stronger as a partnership, at least until the end of the season when things start to take a bit of a turn. Now, Vanessa Morgan, I'll say as far as everything that I've seen her in, this is probably one of my favorite performances of her, because she is a con artist and she's very good at her job. And you can also tell that she was clearly having fun just being the smartest person in the room or outsmarting someone. And that's just what con artists do. Giacomo Gianniati, please forgive me if I butcher your name. Anyways, he plays Cole, and he was an excellent counterpart to Max, because Cole, he is by the book. He is essentially a Boy Scout, but then Max, she kind of gets him out of his zone and kind of bend the rules a little bit, and in the end, it also helps him be a better cop or detective, whatever you want to call it. The third character that I do want to highlight is Max's father, because he essentially taught her everything that she knows, and he's in jail for something that he didn't do, but also just love the father-daughter dynamic between the two of them. And I even love his episode where we get to know a little bit more about him. He gets to go out of jail for a couple of days for his birthday and spend some time with his daughter. And he works with Cole, and even by proxy, he even helps the police solve a case. But I just love how that episode highlighted, like, yeah, I may be a con artist, but one thing you can never say is that I'm a bad father. And he really isn't a bad father, because he even says in the episode, like, he was there through every important moment in Max's life. Birthday, breakup, dance, you name it, he was there. He may be a bad person, but you cannot say he was a bad father. And even at the end of the episode, he even owns up to the fact that, you know, maybe teaching you the ways of being a con artist wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but Max assures him, like, hey, everything's okay. I especially like the last two episodes, and it's the episode where Max gets caught up in a bank robbery, and she's trying to help all the victims, but meanwhile there's something else at play here. Then Cole, he gets in on the action, and then that is the moment that also makes their partnership a lot more strong, because they're relying on each other and trusting each other, and trust that the both of them, not only they'll get the hostages out of this situation, but get themselves out of this situation and live. And then, spoiler alert, the last episode, Max has a husband that has been out of the country, and he's also the reason why her father's in jail. And so with the police, she sets up a fake heist that'll frame her husband and get him sent to jail and free her father, or at least give her father a reduced sentence. Another thing I like about this show is that it is kind of hinting at a possible relationship between Max and Cole, but they didn't go with it because something happens and then it just derails them. And even at the end of the episode where she reveals to Cole that she may know who killed his brother. In the end, nothing really that special about this show. I mean, it is a police procedural after all, but given the plot and the people that are involved in this show, I really enjoy tuning into this show every week. I'm gonna give Wild Cards the thumbs up emoji.